Did Johnathan Moulton make a deal with the devil? Ooh. Hi Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is Johnathan Moulton. And Johnathan Moulton has not one or two, but three different spooky legends tied to his life. So let's get into it. First of all, Johnathan Moulton was a war veteran before the Revolutionary War broke out, and he would end up being in the New Hampshire militia, and he was in charge of defending New Hampshire's coastline. And during the war, he would be promoted to a Brigadier General. So he was an avid patriot. He served in the state assembly and actually served at the Battle of Saratoga. But now that that's out of the way, let's talk about his spooky life. So, first of all, Johnathan Moulton was a merchant out on the New Hampshire frontier. And somehow he made a vast amount of money. And this was a little odd because he was out on the frontier. Where did all this money come from? Well, if you were to ask his neighbors, many of them suspected that he made a deal with the devil. What deal? Well, he played a little trick on the devil. The devil said, "Give me your soul and I'll fill up 2 of your boots with gold." So Moulton said, "Okay," and he cut holes in the bottom of his boots and cut holes in the bottom of his floor. And the devil kept pouring in money, and pouring in and pouring in, and no matter how much the devil poured in, he couldn't fill up the boots, and he gave up and left. So therefore, Johnathan Moulton had a basement full of gold, and he kept his soul all to himself. Shortly after this allegedly happened, Johnathan Moulton's house burned down, and he and his family barely escaped alive. Now, if you were to ask his neighbors how this happened, they would say the devil burnt the house down. If we look back with a cooler head, there's a good chance it was an accident, but there's also a fairly good chance it might have been his neighbors who burned the house down because, well, he wasn't ashamed to flaunt his wealth in front of people, and he had the audacity to waste time and money to paint his house white. Ooh, what a terrible guy. But we can never know exactly how the house burnt down. It's still kind of up in the air. But let's move on to the second legend about Johnathan Moulton, and that's his ghost wife. Now, Johnathan Moulton got married and had a family, but as the revolution was setting in, well, unfortunately, his spouse, Abigail, caught smallpox and passed away. Johnathan Moulton remarried very quickly to a younger, prettier trophy wife named Sarah, and legend has it that he used Abigail's old wedding ring and gave it to Sarah. And on their wedding night, they went into bed, and lo and behold, the ghost of Abigail showed up and tried to steal the wedding ring from Sarah. Now, this probably never happened. It actually first appeared as a tale after Moulton passed away. It was actually written in a poem by John Greenleaf Whittier, who's a fairly famous poet. You may recognize the name. So that's legend number 2. Legend number 3 about Johnathan Moulton is his vanishing corpse. Apparently, when Johnathan Moulton died, some of his pallbearers were carrying his casket, and one of his friends peeked in to see the body just one last time. And to his surprise, when he peeked in, there was no body there. There was just a bag of gold with the devil's face stamped on it. Again, no way to verify this, just a legend. And Johnathan Moulton is one of those founders whose whole life seems to be a legend. He was a Brigadier General in the American Revolution. He has all the right to be one of our founders of the day. But apparently, he just had too many legends to talk about his revolutionary experience, and I had to bring these stories to your attention. I really hope you enjoyed this. It turns out that Moulton was actually buried in an unmarked grave because he was afraid his neighbors, even later in life, were still going to try and desecrate his body. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like. It helps out a lot. And if you're new here, subscribe. I put out videos 5 days a week, including Wednesdays where I do a live video where I recap the articles I wrote in the past week. So tune in for that tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jason, and we'll be back with another founder tomorrow.